Listen, I am not going to deny the strong feelings that people have. I don't know that anyone who has seen the images who would not have strong feelings about what has happened, much less those who have relatives who have died and been killed. And I know people and have talked with people. So I appreciate that. But I also do know that for many people who care about this issue, they also care about bringing down the price of groceries. They also care about our democracy and not having a president of the United States who admires dictators and is a fascist. They also care about the fact that we need practical, common sense solutions from a leader who is willing to.
I'm sorry, but I gotta invoke the old Sam Cedar pause it for a sec here.
Yeah, pause it.
Pause it.
I know. Pause it for a sec. I know. I know genocide is bad.
But groceries.
But, yo, eggs be high though.
Would this be a good time for me to? Hey, Dan, would this be a good time for me to do my Elizabeth Warren impression right now?
Oh no.
I've never heard your Elizabeth Warren, Christina.
Oh, Mike, you don't even know the half of it. You don't even know the half of it. it's so funny because I'm like, I'm Elizabeth Warren. And for some reason, I sound like I'm from the Midwest, which technically I am. I was not born in Massachusetts. I'm working on my Kamala one because like her, Kamala's more of like nasally. She's got like a deviated septum, which is why she sounds very stuffy. So when she talks, it's very interesting. So I'm working on that as well. Like everyone's like, you sound like her when you're more like when your nose is stuffed up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm working on that impression too. I can't be myself.
I totally get the Elizabeth Warren impression because it's like the economic stuff is the kind of pivot that would make sense. And I think Elizabeth Warren, some of Kamala Harris's policies, be they kind of like convoluted and
she's campaigning with the wrong Liz, by the way.
The means tested the shit. Yeah, Liz Cheney versus Liz Warren, right? But means test the shit out of policies here. But to say that I see that you are angered by your family dying, but gas has never been higher. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is why in areas where Muslims can really make the difference, in states where Democratic votes have been razor thin margins, it would be really nice.
There's 3 swing states where the polling has shown that she could definitely not only close the gap, but almost secure them if she simply did anything in order to give people in the Arab and Muslim communities something to work with here. And I'm not going to stop sounding this alarm because honestly, right now, this is a calculation that they're making on a regular basis, but I don't know why they think this is going to go away. It's not. It's ramping up. It's getting worse. And every single morning, I can tell, I'm sure you're all in the same boat. If you go on the internet and you spend any amount of time there, you're going to see some of the most fucked up shit that is genuinely fucking with my brain, where I have to I have to unplug. I have to go walk. I have to do something else, then look at the internet for a little while because it's that horrifying. I'm one of, again, millions of people, and there's millions of Americans who are seeing this shit every single day. I don't know in what world you think you could just coast off this same canned answer every time you're asked. You will be asked this.
So Lance, you were asking I don't know what calculation they're making or some version of that question. I absolutely do. The Democrats are making the calculation right now. The undecided voter, I'll say it, the idiot that the undecided voter is right now on year of our Lord, 24th of October, 2024, in between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris being them the more viable options. If you're voting on morals, Green Party or PSL or whatever, I hear you. I'm not vote shaming you at all. That's fine. You are a decided voter. I'm not talking to you. But if you've not made a decision, the Kamala Harris campaign, maybe rightfully, we'll see how the cookie crumbles. But maybe they're rightfully making the decision that not highlighting what's going on in Gaza and the principled voters they will lose off of that are worth losing to gain whatever undecided voters they think are in these swing states. You know,
60.
I-
So CBS YouGov poll shows 61% of Americans support no longer sending military arms and aid to Israel at this moment in time, and the majority of Democratic voters support no longer sending military aid to Israel at this time. So it is a popular amongst the American electorate. It's something that if you're going to ignore this, then you better triple down on what is an effective strategy, going towards reproductive health or something to that effect, not continuing to fumble every time someone asks you a question you know they're going to ask you, right? Like it's like this we've heard her say, I've heard her speech in response to this so many times I can almost recite it verbatim, right? Like we have to contextualize this. October 7th was the worst attack and all this kind of stuff like that. It's over and over and over, but it's not working in the swing states. Like a lot of them are in the margin of error still because of this shit.
Yeah, and what's interesting too, Lance, is that, you know, the media said, "Oh, all the kids, the college kids, they'll forget about this once the school year starts. Oh, this is just a trend. This is just a fad of caring about what's going on over there." Really?
Yeah, I feel like this whole strategy of trying to court Republicans at the expense of your base, it blew up in Hillary Clinton's face, and Democrats haven't stopped trying to do the same fucking thing. I mean, back
100%.
in, what was it, 2018, I think it was Claire McCaskill, she went straight up full racist and was talking about, remember the migrant caravan that Fox News and Donald Trump were fear-mongering about?
Oh, yeah.
She was on Fox News saying, listen, I disagree with Democrats on quite a bit, and I call it the crazy Democrats, and, you know, with those migrants, stop them at the border. Hey, guess what happened? We now have a Josh Hawley because she didn't win over enough right-wingers. And I just want to share this tweet from Katrina vanden Heuvel, who I think puts it into perspective pretty bluntly. Polls show Harris is actually flipping fewer Trump 2020 voters than Trump is flipping Biden 2020 voters. That has been the case not only in polls from Suffolk University and Fox News, but even in the New York Times Siena College poll. It showed just 3% of Trump's 2020 backers voting for Harris, while 4% of Biden voters broke for Trump, all of which reinforces the idea that the Republican electorate and former Trump backers aren't exactly following Cheney's lead in any large numbers. So whatever she's being told by her advisors it's not working.
And
it's a terrible strategy.
Have you seen Trump's truths where he's basically saying that, like, to the Arab and Muslim community in Michigan and elsewhere, Dick Cheney was a war criminal who's responsible for countless deaths of your people, directly appealing to that voter demographic. Like, they are strategizing from the other side to try and, scoop up those votes that she's throwing away.
Well, and to make matters even worse, as Trump was reaching out to Arab Americans, I think he was doing a conference or something, there was an Arab American Democrat that got kicked out of a Kamala Harris rally for no particular reason. He left, and then the police was outside waiting for him. No reason for it. Later on, the campaign had to apologize and say, we don't know why he's welcome at future rallies. But I mean, this guy was going there. He had no intent to protest whatsoever. He wasn't wearing a keffiyeh or anything like that. He was just wearing a regular suit. And he got kicked out. It seemed like racial profiling, and that was what he said. And his point was, I mean, am I welcome? Should I vote for this party if they don't want me? They're clearly telling me they don't want me. How do you make these many fuck-ups again and again? And this comes after they didn't allow a Palestinian American a 5-minute speech at the DNC during the day. There's so many unforced errors and so many mistakes that the campaign has made. And it just feels like in an election like this, when Donald Trump is the alternative and he's saying, I want to be Hitler too, it shouldn't be this close. And the fact that it is not just a sign that the American electorate is fucked in the head, but a sign that Kamala is fucking up strategically speaking, because every election is going to be about mobilization for Democrats, not about persuading Republicans. I think Sam Cedar put it best. This is a mobilization election, not a persuasion election. You're not going to win by flipping Republicans. You're going to win by getting out those people who are on the couch, and they don't want to come out in certain states because of the genocide. All you have to do is say, I will follow the law bluntly, and say, I will enforce U.S. law and international law as it relates to foreign policy and providing weapons to our allies. That's all you have to say, and we'll get it. But she's not even saying that. And it's so frustrating because this doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to be this close. And I just feel like it's slipping away. Not that she's going to lose, because I think it's genuinely a toss-up, and Trump's also running a baffling campaign. But I feel like this is easy. It's easy mode. She's playing on the easiest difficulty, and she's just doing all the side quests but not doing the fucking main missions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this. It's never easy for a black woman.
That's
and
true.
There's a lot of like it's gonna be close
Yeah.
because Trump is running against a woman and a black woman. So no matter what, it's gonna be close. And also like it's always close. Like there hasn't been a landslide in a long time. I think Reagan was the last person or something like that. But like there's obviously we're talking about like two bullshit parties that like neither of us, like nobody here has any real love for. So they're going to do things that we completely disagree with. But it like, I don't really think that it's close or it's like easy mode for Kamala, like at all, because, you know,
That's
like
fair.
Pakistan's had a woman prime minister before. Like, you know, we
Mexico just elected a woman
right.
president.
Just yeah. Like I think it'd be damn near impossible for America to vote for a Jewish president like that. Like we got some deep seated shit here.
Mexico
Like
just also got a Jewish president.
so, like
Yeah, all of Trump's shithole countries are more progressive than us when it comes to
Yeah.
elected
no,
officials.
like literally. So I don't think that like I do. Obviously, it'd be great for Kamala to say something good about what's happening in Gaza. I don't necessarily think that she would be able to implement that if she was president, but whatever. It'd be nice, but it's still going to be close no matter what. Like if those voters that she's ignoring come out, it's still going to be close because I don't necessarily think that those people that are going from Biden to Trump is because like Kamala's what she said. I think a lot of those people are like, I'm not voting for a woman. Like there are a lot of men that hate women
And women who hate women.
right, and there are a lot of people that don't want to see this black woman president. It's simple. It's hard to think that there's people like that, you know, walking around us. You know, it's hard to think that this person, even if they got a Trump flag.
Bam, have you been on the freeways recently? It's very easy to believe that.
You know, like I'm just saying, like, I think like we don't want to think about politics as like that simple, but sometimes it just boils down to things like that. Like
That's fair.
there's a lot of people that are just like, I'm not voting for that. Like,
Yeah, and the Daily Show, they've interviewed women. They're like, you know, women are, you know, hormonal or this or that. I'm like, you mean a woman who's probably, you know, already had her like, you know, menopause? You think she's overly emotional or hormonal? I'm like, who has led this country for over 200 years? Men. Who started all these wars? Men. I'm just saying, like, I mean, women could possibly, you know, enact war, you know, whatever. That's something presidents, you know, leaders do from time to time. But like, I don't see what the argument is. I'm like, men lose their shit more than women. No offense to all the men on this lovely panel.
How dare you?
But I'm just saying, like, men,
Really?
the
You gotta be secure,
testosterone,
it's happening.
the testosterone gets you guys going, and that's why we got like things like toxic masculinity to discuss. But like, yeah, I'm like, you know, guys, ladies.
Which to Bam's point, I empathize with Kamala because of that. I think that she does feel that she needs to go out of her way to make sure that she assuages concerns that she's this Kamala, as Trump is saying it, because she is a black woman and Americans just perceive her to be more left-wing because of that. So I do agree, and I think that there's a more rational reason for her to pander to Republicans than other Democrats do. One counterpoint that I would say is that the way you do it does matter, and I think that if she continued to try to speak to Republicans and did all this, well, I would put a Republican in my administration, I would hate it, but I'd at least understand it. The one thing that I don't understand is the Liz Cheneys, where it's like, if you're going to get a Republican, can you get like, I don't know, fucking Mitt Romney? And I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah,
Just
I
anyone
mean,
but Liz
Jon
Cheney?
Stewart.
You know what I mean?
Jon Stewart and Sam Cedar, the only two liberals. I mean, even though Jon Stewart has labeled himself as an independent socialist, he's literally Tim Walz. Like, do we really need the Cheneys? Like, it's like he's the only one, and Sam
But he
as well.
to have a good response to that.
Yeah,
That was
they're the only ones who understand we cannot be rehabilitating Dick Cheney, who should be 6 feet under, or even worse, in my opinion. Like,
Or Bush.
why?
He hasn't
Or
come out, but
Bush.
him too. There's a couple of Republicans where it's like, maybe not them. And we had the same problem with Hillary Clinton in 2016 with Henry Kissinger, where she's like, I'm proud to have the advice of Henry Kissinger. And it's like, bro, anyone but Hitler
I had
too.
Men in Black. I had Men in Black that from my brain. Thank you, Mike, for bringing that back.
I'm not I feel like Dan. I'm defending Kamala. I'm not joking. I'm really not defending Liz Cheney, but I think the reason she has Liz Cheney up there is because of what Liz Cheney did in the January 6th, with the January 6th commission or whatever that was. Which, like, you know, I mean, it's been a while now, but you know, she was up there doing her thing and taking a risk because I think her and the other guy, I forgot his name, like they definitely lost their seats after that. And I guess like Liz Cheney and what the hell's the other guy's name?
Kinzinger?
Adam
Kinzinger, yeah.
Yes. Like they've been like the most like outspoken anti-Trump Republicans. But yeah, no, I don't love it either. But even when it comes to Gaza, like I think we talked about this on PowerPoint at some point, like AIPAC is scary, dude. Like they are taking people
Jamal
out
Bowman,
like it's
Bush.
nothing. Like
Voted off the island.
I wonder, like I don't like politics is a dirty game. Like it's a dirty game. I can never run for office ever. There's too much stuff on this phone here. I can't do it. So like you never
Galaxy
know.
S4.
You're stupid. You never. There's on that one too. You never know like what AIPAC has waiting for you if you say anything like to like I don't know if like the air vote can outweigh what AIPAC can do. Like I don't know. It seems like she's towing the line a bit right now, and I don't expect anything like super progressive when she becomes president. I don't expect that, but I feel like there is some like her advisors can be like, look, dude, like we can't afford you to be jumping out the window on that. And we'll see if they were right or wrong come November, but I don't necessarily
I'm not asking her to say like abolish Israel though, or something like that. I'm not, you know, in any way, shape, or form. I think that would be ridiculous.
Repeat that one more time. What'd you say?
I'm not saying that she should say abolish Israel. I definitely think that would be political suicide. Yeah.
Shit lib.
Okay, Ethan Klein. Okay.
No, but I in the real world that we live in, you said something like that. Obviously, yes, that would be the end of the Harris-Walz campaign. Like that day, it would happen on the spot. I'm saying that like what you can do, which is not outside of the kind of like, you know, entire persona she's built up in these past couple months, is say that we're going to follow the law, or that we're going to you know, put terms and conditions on this, you know, anything that gives people who are so desperate right now something to believe in or to hope for, or to think that like they'd prefer anything else because you're just watching the massacre happen every single day, right? Anything on that. But like if you want to avoid it altogether, then lean twice as hard into reproductive freedom. That's how you're going to drive out voters. I totally agree with you. A black woman running in America, that is an insurmountable task, especially to get past how fucking racist like all these countries are. But like, there's other strategies.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? Tree? Tree?
They not like us.
Tree? Tree? You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?